What you're about to hear is going to shake the very foundation of professional wrestling as we know it. This isn't clickbait, this isn't speculation, this isn't some fantasy booking nonsense. This is real, this is happening. And WWE just pulled off what might be the most shocking return in Smackdown history. Welcome to Wrestle Scope, where we don't just report the news, we dissect it, we analyze it, and we tell you exactly what it means for the future of sports entertainment. I'm about to tell you something that's going to make your jaw drop, something that's going to make you question everything you thought you knew about brand loyalty, contract negotiations, and the wrestling business as a whole. Jon Moxley, the Death Rider himself, the man who walked out of WWE, became the face of AEW, the guy who told Vince McMahon and the entire WWE system to go to hell, just showed up on Friday Night Smackdown and came face-to-face with the most dangerous rising star in WWE today, Bron Breakker. And if you think you know what this means, if you think you've got it all figured out, let me tell you right now, you have no idea how deep this rabbit hole goes. The impossible just happened. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this before you answer in the comments below. When was the last time WWE did something that made you genuinely shocked? Not surprised, not entertained, shocked. When was the last time they made you stand up from your couch, throw your hands in the air, and scream, "No way," at your television screen? Because that's exactly what happened last Friday night on Smackdown. For years, and I mean years, we've been told that Jon Moxley would never return to WWE. The man burned every bridge on his way out. He went on podcasts trashing the creative process, he called out the scripted promos, he talked about how WWE was suffocating his creativity and turning him into a cartoon character. He became the top guy in AEW, the cornerstone of Tony Khan's promotion, the man who carried that company through its darkest days. And now, he's back in a WWE ring, staring down one of Triple H's golden boys, and the entire wrestling world is losing its mind. But here's where it gets really interesting. And here's where I need you to pay attention, because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow this story wide open. The return that nobody saw coming. Let's set the scene. Smackdown, sold-out arena, the crowd is hot, and Bron Breakker just finished absolutely demolishing another opponent in typical Bron Breakker fashion. Spear, gorilla press, pin, victory. The man is on an absolute tear right now. And he's standing in the middle of the ring with a microphone, cutting a promo about how there's nobody left in WWE who can challenge him, how he's run through everyone they've put in front of him, how he's the future of this industry whether we like it or not. Classic heel stuff, right? We've seen it a million times. The overconfident champion or top star who claims nobody can touch them, and then their next challenger's music hits. Standard wrestling formula. Except this wasn't standard. This wasn't anything close to standard. The lights go out, the crowd goes silent, and then that guitar riff hits. Not the Shield music, not some new WWE-produced theme, the Wild Thing instrumental that became synonymous with Jon Moxley's AEW run starts blasting through the speakers. And I'm telling you right now, that arena exploded like nothing I've heard in years. People are on their feet, people are screaming, grown men are crying. And through the smoke and the chaos, Jon Moxley walks out onto that stage looking like he just walked out of a war zone. Leather jacket, taped fists, that look in his eyes that says, "I'm here to hurt somebody." And he makes his way down to that ring like a man on a mission. Bron Breakker, to his credit, doesn't back down. The kid stands there in the middle of the ring, muscles flexed, jaw clenched, and you can see it in his eyes. He's ready for this fight. And that's when things got really intense. The confrontation that broke the internet. Moxley slides into the ring, and for what feels like an eternity, these two men just stare at each other. The crowd is chanting, "This is awesome," before a single punch is thrown, before a single word is spoken, because everyone in that building and everyone watching at home knows they're witnessing something special. Then Moxley grabs a microphone, and let me tell you what he said next is going to be talked about for years to come. He looks Bron dead in the eyes and says, "You think you're a bad man? You think running through the mid-card makes you tough? Kid, I've been to hell and back. I've bled in bingo halls, I've main evented Tokyo Dome, I've carried companies on my back, and I've done it my way. You want to know what a real fighter looks like? You're looking at him. The crowd is going ballistic at this point, and Bron just smiles. He smiles that cocky smile and fires back. Old man, I don't care what you did in the indies. I don't care what you did in some other company. This is WWE. This is my yard now, and you just made the biggest mistake of your life coming back here. And that's when the brawl broke out. These two men started throwing hands like their lives depended on it. Punches, kicks, Bron hit a massive belly-to-belly suplex that sent Moxley flying across the ring. Moxley came back with elbows and knee strikes, security rushed the ring, and these guys were fighting through security like they were nothing. It took 15 people to separate them, and even then, they were trying to get at each other. The show went off the air with both men being held back, both screaming at each other, both promising to destroy the other one. But wait, the story gets even crazier. Now, here's where we need to talk about the elephant in the room. And this is the part that has the entire wrestling community in a frenzy right now. How is this even possible? Jon Moxley was under contract with AEW. He was the face of that company. He was their world champion multiple times. He was in the middle of storylines. He was leading the Blackpool Combat Club. He was everywhere on AEW programming. And suddenly, with no warning, with no reports from the wrestling media, with no hints or teases on social media, he shows up on WWE Smackdown. People are asking questions. People are demanding answers. Twitter is on fire, Reddit is melting down, and everyone wants to know the same thing. What kind of deal was made to make this happen? Here's what we know so far, and trust me when I tell you this, the details are insane. Multiple sources are reporting that this deal was worked out in complete secrecy between WWE and AEW over the last several weeks. We're talking about high-level negotiations between Tony Khan and WWE executives, discussions about talent sharing, potential future collaborations, and yes, there's even talk about a possible interpromotional match at a major pay-per-view event. Think about that for a second. WWE and AEW, the two biggest wrestling companies in the world, companies that have been at war with each other for ratings, for talent, for fan support, potentially working together? This is unprecedented. This has never happened before in modern wrestling. This is bigger than the NWA-WC relationship, bigger than the ECW partnerships. This could be the most significant business development in professional wrestling in decades. What this means for the wrestling business. Let's break down what this return really means, because the implications go far beyond just one match or one storyline. First, for WWE, this is Triple H making a statement. Since taking over creative, he's been bringing back legends, he's been pushing new stars, but this is him showing that WWE isn't afraid to work with anyone if it makes business sense. This is him showing that the old territorial mindset, the us versus them mentality that dominated wrestling for so long, it's over. For AEW, this is equally massive. Tony Khan allowing his top star to appear on WWE programming shows a level of confidence in his product that we've never seen before. He's essentially saying, go ahead, let Moxley go to WWE, let him show what AEW produces, because our guys are so good that they can hang anywhere. But here's the thing that's really got people talking, and this is the part that has me absolutely fascinated by this whole situation. There are reports, and these are unconfirmed, but coming from very reliable sources, that this Jon Moxley appearance is just the beginning. We're hearing whispers about potential surprise appearances by other AEW talent on WWE shows. We're hearing about possible WWE talent showing up on AEW Dynamite. We're hearing about a potential super show that could feature talent from both companies. Can you imagine? Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes, MJF versus CM Punk, the Young Bucks versus the Usos, Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins? The possibilities are endless. And if even half of these rumors are true, we're about to enter a new golden age of professional wrestling. The Bron Breakker factor. Now let's talk about the other side of this equation, because while everyone's focused on Moxley's return, we need to discuss what this means for Bron Breakker. This kid, and when I say kid, I mean that with respect, because this 26-year-old freak of nature is the real deal. just got handed the opportunity of a lifetime. Think about it. Bron Breakker, the son of Rick Steiner, the nephew of Scott Steiner, third-generation superstar, is being positioned to go toe-to-toe with one of the most respected wrestlers in the world today. WWE is essentially saying, Bron, we believe in you so much that we're giving you Jon Moxley as an opponent. Do you understand how huge that is? WWE doesn't just hand out these opportunities. They could have brought Moxley back to Roman Reigns. They could have put him against Cody Rhodes. They could have done anything with him. But they chose Bron Breakker because they see in him what we all see, a future megastar. Bron has everything you could possibly want in a WWE superstar. He's got the look, the guy is jacked. He's got the athleticism, his agility for his size is ridiculous. He's got the intensity. Have you seen his facials during matches? The kid is a natural. And